My video for April the 29th, 2019 is video number 3070. The title is Extremist Views Are the Problem, Not the Solution. Yesterday I received this from a friend, quote, "Does the Australian government care for its people at all? This warning is as clear as a summer's day," end quote. The warning came from a moderate Muslim Imam. Yes, moderates teach love and respect for differences. Extremists are those on ego trips that only think in terms of my way is the only right way. My truth is the only truth. Frankly, I don't care if we are talking religion or politics. Whoops, I said of politics. It's supposed to be or. Let me fix it. Both of which have significant impact on our lives. Radical extremist viewpoints are a real threat to human life and to life of the planet. Will we ever find the middle path and learn to live in harmony with each other and with Mother Nature? Please, God, help us come to our senses. Before I even get into the topic, I am relieved that my computer seems to be working fine, and I'm grateful to my friend for taking the enormous amount of time to help me resolve the issues that I've had. And as I said in the previous video, I've eliminated glare utilities, and I will no longer use any of these programs that are supposed to protect the computer. They interfere, not protect. Anyway, back to the topic. I was unable to even read my emails yesterday. I was so caught up in the issue of resolving the computer thing. I mean, I went almost 24 hours without sleep. I mean, I tried to sleep during that time, but unsuccessfully because the computer issues were so enormous to me. But the problem that we face as humanity is even more critical. We have a lot of people in religious movements and political movements that are extreme radicals. And by extreme radicals, I mean they are so convinced that their viewpoint is the only right viewpoint. Now, there are fundamentalists and evangelicals of all extremes in all countries, but it is the radical element that divides and wants to exterminate those of a different viewpoint, or if not exterminate, at least silence them. I mean, I have faced this myself, and I try to bring forth a message of moderation. I am not an extremist. I'm less of an extremist now at 72 years of age than I was when I was younger. When I was younger, I still believed that my truth, the truth I was taught, was a core truth. And there are core truths in what I was taught. But the core truth is to love one another. The core truth is to listen and to be open to alternative viewpoints, not to be stuck on an ego trip of this is the only right way. This is the only truth. There can't be any other perspective than my perspective. But our perspective is based on our personal experience, and every one of us has a different experience, even if we're identical twins. The twins do not have the same experience as the other twin. And that's true of all human beings. We each have our own experiential events that happen in our lives that help form our perspective of reality. And that has to be that way because we are individuals. There are those that try to say that, no, we're not individuals. That's just an ego trip. No, the ego is simply a personal identity. There's nothing wrong with the ego unless the ego takes on the viewpoint that my experience is the true experience. And if you have a different one, you're wrong. And the extreme viewpoint is not only if you have a different one, you're wrong, but if it's really different, I have to destroy you. I have to work to make your life as miserable as possible. Can you not see that this arrogant attitude is at the root of all the wars, of all the riots, of all the dissension all over the world? And the problem is at the top, because it's at the top, or the political level. And by political level, I mean the political level of religious institutions, whether they're Christian, Muslim, Jewish, Hindu, Buddhist. Anytime you go out on the extreme edges of any of these religions, you are not able to love those that have a different viewpoint, because your viewpoint is stuck in a very narrow bubble of egocentricity that is dangerous. That is the sin of I am right and those that disagree with me are wrong. That is the issue. Now you may say, but Ron, aren't you saying that you're right? Yes, I'm saying not that I'm right, but that love is right. Listening is right. Trying to build bridges and expose the walls is right. That's the way that's going to lead us to peace on earth. The other way is only going to create more and more separation, more and more war and bloodshed and problems for everyone involved in one way or another. It's not about a dominant idea taking root and establishing itself as the only way. No, love is not an ideology. Love is a practice that begins with listening to where the other person is coming from in as non-judgmental and condemnatory manner as possible. We can't condemn each other. We have to learn to listen again to what the other person is saying and do our best to put ourselves in the other person's shoes. That's what love does. Love thinks in terms of how did this person come to this viewpoint? We've all been wounded. We've all faced injuries in our lives, psychologically, spiritually, and in many cases physically, that affect our viewpoint on the world. And the viewpoint has to become more moderate. It has to avoid the extremes of egocentrism. That's the issue. That's the problem. And let's work together to find solutions that will bring harmony to humanity and end the insanity of continually butting heads and failing to listen to our own hearts. In the heart is wisdom. In the right brain, balanced with the left brain, we will find answers that will bring peace and prosperity to everybody. And we will erase the huge divide that has separated humans for eons. Thank you, folks, for listening, and namaste.